Hello and welcome to Through the Banner, where we take you through all the latest AFL news, as well as taking a look at your team's sides ahead of the weekend. I'm your host for the day, Josh Garlip, and alongside me is footy scribe Craig O'Donoghue. Craig, all the talk this week in WA was about Willie Rioli making his potential return for West Coast after 2 years out of the game. Will he play?
No, he won't. We've all been expecting the Eagles to announce he would be in the team. The Eagles even said today they were preparing to announce him in the team, but he had a hamstring injury a couple of weeks ago, and he hasn't been able to recover from that in time to get it strong enough to play because he did it again yesterday at training. So that's two hamstrings in his 2 months back at the club. It was always going to be a risk for him when you consider that he's been out of the game for such a long time, and it's probably a good thing for him in the end. When you consider that Luke Shuey had surgery earlier this year, had to come back through the waffle, Elliot Yeo had almost a year out, had to come back through the waffle. Your body's never going to be right after that amount of time. He can have a full pre-season now and hit the ground running next season without so much pressure as what he would have had on him this weekend if he was trying to play at the AFL.
So no waffle, no AFL for Willie Rioli this week, but the Fremantle Dockers have a very big in if you're a Freo fan. Talk us through David Mundy. He'll break the Dockers games milestone. What a huge effort.
Yeah, it's an amazing to break a record. Like you talk about big ins, it's an into the new record system or whatever you want to call it for Fremantle. It's an amazing number, 354 games to overtake Matthew Pavlich. We saw last week how great it was for him to go through the banner with his wife and his three kids. Had an amazing game, got votes in the Glendinning Allen Medal, and it's just been typical of what we've seen from him this year as a 36-year-old. He's top 20 in the AFL for handballs, inside 50s, clearances and contested possessions, and most blokes at his age just sitting on the couch watching, drinking a beer. He's been fantastic and he'll go on next year, so congratulations to David Mundy. We wish him all the best in his record-breaking game.
Yeah, he's 4 years older than me and he's doing far better. So going around the ground now to some of the retirements around the AFL. It is the final round of the regular season, so we see some of our favourite names hang up the boots.
Yeah, and Eddie Betts is probably one of the most favourite player who's retiring this weekend. Much loved throughout the entire competition for the entertainment value that he's brought us. 4 times he's kicked the goal of the year, and they are freakish goals, except he's not a freak. He does it just consistently throughout his career. An amazing effort, 638 goals, 4 times goal of the year. Sean Burgoyne, yet another one, 407 games, 4 flags, just an ornament to the game. Basher Hooley out at Richmond, started with Essendon, moved to the Tigers, won 3 flags and was runner-up in the Norm Smith medal twice. And then you look at Cale Hooker, a good West Australian boy out at Essendon, won a best and fairest, was an All-Australian, has played back, has played forward, been fantastic for the Bombers. So congratulations to all of the guys who've had outstanding careers who are finishing up this weekend. Congratulations
to some absolute superstars on that list you just said, saying goodbye to the game. But one man that potentially is be saying hello to the start of a new chapter in his AFL career is Ross Lyon, the former Fremantle head coach. Rumoured to end up at Carlton next year. Do you have an update on that?
Yeah, well, he's well and truly in the frame now that he's put himself in the frame. He's been very cagey all year. Would he be interested in going back to the AFL or not? He has made it clear that he's not interested in going to Collingwood, but he will accept a phone call from Carlton. Now, David Teague is currently still the coach. There is a review that's been going on all year, and we all expect that given how badly they've been going and the way that reviews tend to turn out, that he won't be coach after that. Then it's a matter of who do Carlton want, Ross Lyon or Alistair Clarkson? And the jungle drums are certainly beating that it will be Ross Lyon.
Yeah, Ross Lyon's definitely made his intentions pretty clear. But let's have a look at the players that will run through the banner this weekend for West Coast, the Dockers, and around the league.
Yeah, if we start at West Coast, and it's absolute carnage for the Eagles. As you mentioned, Willie Rioli did his hammy and couldn't come into the team. Well, Brad Shepherd's out, Tim Kelly's out, Jeremy McGovern is out, Josh Kennedy is out, and Jack Petruccelli's been dropped. So they're going to make a raft of changes with Harry Edwards coming in. Josh Rotham also gets a crack. Jermaine Jones, Jake Waterman, and Connor West. So significant changes, and you've got to say, season over for West Coast now. They're not going to Brisbane to win with that sort of a team, you wouldn't think. The Lions have made no changes. The only person out is Reece Matheson, who was their sub from last week. So big game for West Coast trying to make their way into the finals. Can't see it happening.
No chance?
No chance with that team.
Another team that trying to make their way into the finals, the Fremantle Dockers. They take on St Kilda. What are their changes?
Yeah, they've made quite significant ones also. Andy Brayshaw back from the 1 week suspension, which is really significant for that midfield. Gives them a much stronger on-ball department. Blake Acres is also into the squad. Ethan Hughes and Joel Weston, bearing in mind these are squads, so there's more ins than there are outs. Connor Blakely out injured. These teams will be trimmed down tomorrow night. And then if we look at St Kilda, 5 changes. The big out is Max King, the big key forward, gone. injured, so there's some issues for them there. And they've got Ben Long, Paul Hunter, Jack Bytel, Matt Ellison, and Jack Loney coming into that team. So pretty good result there for Fremantle when you look at those changes.
When you take a look around the rest of the AFL, what are the major ins and outs for the final round of the regular season?
Lance Franklin back for the Swans. We know he's managed last week, and we know that he's closing in on the 1,000 goals. Can he get there throughout the finals? We'll have to wait and see, but it's a really significant in for them when you look at that. Patrick Cripps back for Carlton, Brody Smith for Adelaide. We know there's a lot of fantasy finals going on this weekend. These blokes will be very, very popular. Toby Green, Jago O'Meara, and Stephen May are all other names that you'll be hoping for if you're in a fantasy grand final or if your team is hoping to make finals. But if you look at outs, we're just going to put 5 names on the screen and they're all from the one team. And it just shows that Richmond have put the Q in the rack. Trent Cotchin, gone. Shane Edwards, gone. Kane Lambert is gone, Dion Prestia is gone, and so is Toby Nankervis. Get on the Hawks, because they're winning for Alistair Clarkson's last game in this situation. And apart from that Richmond game, from a fantasy perspective, Jack Zeeble is out. So if you've got him in your grand final team, you're going to have to make some replacements. So big final weekend for fantasy, massive final weekend for tipping. We know that as well. So get your tips in, make sure that you know what's going on because you want to win in this final round. But that's a lot, Josh.
That's a lot. Good luck to tipsters. Thank you, Craig. And for more, head to thewest.com.au and remember to like and subscribe for more of Through the Banner in the weeks to come.